Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to a Tuesday edition of the 60-hour love letter we call the Power Hour, brought to you by Toyota of Warren. DJ Yoakley with you here, and we've got another great show for you today. Coming off the heels of an unbelievable Monday show, Girl Power continues with the first part of this show because we bring in another one of the area's best catchers, a young lady that I've known for a long time. Think a lot of her and her family. Kelly Zolik from South Range is going to join us in just a moment. She is having an incredible year as she continues a stellar career, Hall of Fame career for the Raiders, in my personal opinion, and continues to be one of the leaders, not only on the field, but off the field as well, and set the example and the tone for what Raider softball is meant to be and will be for years to come because of young ladies like her. She'll join us in just a moment. The back end of the show, we are joined by Canfield catcher Michael Patelis as we talk about his junior season and kind of the things that have changed for him over this season. They lost a ton of seniors last year, a ton of talent, but they were able to basically manufacture what they learned from those seniors and from yesteryears, and create another powerhouse at the Canfield Cardinals facilities. And Michael Patelis is a big reason why. So he's going to join us at 3:30, and we'll talk about his life on and off the field and what it means in his junior campaign and what he thinks he's going to do moving forward. And we also have, of course, the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark at the end of the show to put a bow on it. But right now joining us is, again, one of my favorites, one of the best young ladies you will ever meet. She is the kind of young lady that you want to raise. And if you're raising one, want them to be just like her. Kelly Zolik, welcome to the show, young lady.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Always, always. All right, so let's get it started. A senior year, we talked a little bit before it in the pre-show. This has had to go so quickly for you. Did you expect it to go this fast? Did you expect to be a senior this quickly when you strapped up those shoes for the first time as a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed freshman?
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect to go so quickly. It's like the cliche when you get into high school. It's like, oh, the 4 years is going to fly by, so enjoy every moment. And then it's spring of my freshman year, and I'm excited to go into softball. And then we have that 2-week kind of break from COVID, and I'm like, oh, party, like a 2-week vacation. Do it. Everything was canceled, and we just lost our season. So then I'm coming in sophomore year, and it all happened so fast. Sophomore year, we were in a state championship, and then it was like I blinked my eyes, and it's senior year. So we're hoping to just, make it last as long as we can and get a good playoff run.
You mentioned the sophomore year, which was incredible. You end up in the state championship. Ultimately, you fall a little bit short. What did you learn from that loss that carried you into last year and ultimately is leaving you wanting more and to leave a legacy for the years to come with how you want this year to end in a very competitive division?
I think it was really just like a moment of growth. We all realized like, wow, like we actually have the potential to make it to a state championship game, to be competitive at this type of level. And it definitely left us with a hunger, especially me and my fellow seniors, to get back there, having had that experience in the state championship.
Now, naturally, you're part of that Triple S Express, as we like to call it, right in the middle of that lineup. 3 seniors right in a row. With you, Suzanne, and obviously Julie Stakowitz. When you go into that lineup, and you had Jamie Farron a lot of times right in front of you, so when you go into that lineup and the 4 seniors are right dead in the middle, do you feel like you and your classmates control how that game is going to go, knowing that it's 2, 3, 4, and 5?
Yeah, I think we're a nice little kind of heart of the lineup, and we can definitely be productive and manufacture some runs there. But it's also important that we have, Kira at the top of the lineup. She's a freshman. She gets on base and allows us to do what we need to do. And then also the girls towards the end of the lineup, Maddie, Gretchen, Giada, all of them, they are also, like, if we get on base, they also need to be productive to score us. So it's really just a nice balance throughout the whole lineup.
What are some of the things that you learned in the early goings, in the early stages of your high school career that now you're trying to kind of pass the baton to those younger players in the lineup, whether it's Kira at the top or, throughout the rest of the roster filling in, because, I think this is a very special group. I think this is a group that many South Range fans, families will remember for years to come. What do you ultimately want to pass to the next generation of Lady Raiders?
One of the biggest things I had to learn coming into the program, being young and kind of being in the varsity spotlight right away, was to just like embrace the pressure. Don't let the nerves get to you so much. Like sometimes I'll see them like in a game and they just seem like really nervous, and I just want to tell them it's okay to make a mistake. Like it's all going to happen to us. So I hope that they can just realize it's okay to make mistakes, and that their teammates are still going to be there for them no matter what. But also, South Range really has a winning tradition in all of our sports. We have a state championship football team, a state championship wrestling team. So I hope that they can just continue the tradition of winning that all South Range sports like to carry.
Well, I mean, that's a perfect segue in the next question. Do you feel pressure with all these state championships and appearing in a state championship with your program? Do you feel pressure to, get that title and bring it back to Canfield the same way other teams have in the last couple of years?
I don't really feel pressure to do it. I know we have the backing of our community no matter what the outcome of our season may be. But we definitely have motivation there, knowing that we've been in the game before, that other teams have won state championships. So we definitely want to get there, but we know that no matter what happens, we have a community that supports us and loves us no matter what.
Wow, these answers are phenomenal, and I'm not surprised at all. We talked about how you're a pro and you've done this a million times. You got DJ Yoakley after the game with his camera. Hey, Kelly, can I have a minute to talk to you? Sure, absolutely. And you like a pro, like you're not worried about your hair. You just go up, you do it, and you're out. Kudos to you, by the way, for all that you've been able to do and all the times that we've pulled you aside and for the player of the game, which are so deserved. But you've had the spotlight on you since basically you were a freshman. I mean, I remember getting with you and your dad in the summer, and you realized quickly that you had to be recruiting and start early. What has that recruitment process been like, and what has it been like, for most people that, catchers like myself that don't get a lot of that attention along the way? You have taken it, young lady, and you have run with it as I've never seen before. What has that been like for you?
So growing up, like playing college softball always seemed like something that was so out of reach. But as I grew up, I kind of realized like, wow, I could do this, maybe at like a Division II level, like I'm going to be heading to at IUP. And, COVID was not a good thing by any means, but it kind of allowed me to like stream my games and get games like out there electronically. So that really helped me to put some like highlight reels together to just send out to coaches that couldn't be physically at the field. So even though COVID was not a positive experience, it did give me that. So I was able to put highlight reels together, just email coaches. And then IUP was actually like my first actual college visit. And I was like, wow, this is happening. And they were my first offer. And that's where I decided I wanted to be. And it really just felt like home.
Now, I think that you first off, you're being very modest because you are courted by so many different schools. You're in conversation with so many different schools. But what I took away from the entire process was obviously you come from a very good family, which we will talk about in just a few minutes. But you want to be not necessarily go to school. Like I went to school to be a baseball player, right? And I just kind of fell into the broadcasting aspect. You are going to school to ultimately be a lawyer, correct?
Yes.
So talk to me about that process and how that goes into your selection of programs that you want to play for in softball. And then obviously programs that, because you must love school because you're going to be there for a while still after it's all said and done.
Yeah. My schooling is very important to me. And when I was kind of deciding a school I wanted to play for, I wanted it to also be a school that I could get a quality education at. And obviously wanting to be a lawyer, I'm going to have to attend law school after I do my undergraduate. So it was also important to me to not be like in a ton of debt when I get out of my undergraduate. So IUP is a place that I could play softball. They could give me some money to play. And also I'm able to be in like an honors college setting at IUP. So I'll also be in the honors college there and be able to get the academic rigor that I need to get into law school.
You're incredible. You are absolutely incredible. I'm not joking when I say that I hope my daughter ends up just like you, in so many different ways. When you think about, being a lawyer, what kind of pushed you towards that? Do you like arguing? I'm sure your dad will tell us that you love arguing, but is that something that you just looked at and you said, "Hey, it'd be cool to be a lawyer"? Do you watch episodes of Law and Order SVU? Like, what do you do to be? I want to be a lawyer one day.
It was kind like growing up, people always told me I was good at arguing, but I don't even want to really go into criminal law. So, in sixth grade, I kind of that was kind of what I latched onto. And I was like, this is what I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to be. And it never really wavered. I'm sure South Range fans know Jacob Richardson. He's on the wrestling team. His mom is actually a lawyer, and I've had the opportunity to shadow with her, and she's done a really good job at kind of showing me the reins and just like affirming my desire to do that.
Well, it's nice to know, I guess, from my standpoint that I've got my litigation taken care of whenever you're done with school, because it'll be Zolik or Zolik and whoever, and I'm looking forward to YSN being one of your first clients. Hopefully, we never get in any trouble, but naturally, it's always good to be protected. Let's talk about that unbelievable family of yours and what they mean to you. Your dad is such a high character person. Your mom is I'm sure very much like you. So, which is a loving individual who just has a zest for life. What does your family mean to you? Your mom, your dad, and sis?
Yeah, my family is very important to me, and they have been very important to me throughout this whole entire process with softball. Me and my dad, everyone who knows us knows that we will fight with each other over softball. Like, it can get pretty heated between us, but I probably don't tell him enough, but I really do appreciate everything he's done for me. He is like a baseball and softball guy through and through. And there is no one else who has put in the time for me or put in the effort for me like he has. So I really do appreciate him, even though it can get a little argument here and there. But my mom, if my dad is the one that is tough on me and my sister, which he is, my mom is the one who's there to kind of be like, oh, it's okay. It's just how he is. You got it. You can do it. So she's kind of the support system in the back there. And then it's also really nice to have my sister around because she played for my dad growing up. She knows what it's like. So we can kind of just relate. And, sometimes we team up on him and we're like, Dad, you need to stop. But it is to have her there to relate with.
He's been there the entire time. I mean, he's in the dugout. He's part of this softball organization. Obviously, he's in the school as a principal. He's very like being his daughter's got to be nice and challenging at the same time, because I'm sure the expectations for you are quite a bit higher than everybody else. But let's get back at him a little bit here, because he's done a couple pranks to me as well. So I heard, and I want to confirm with you, that when you got back from Myrtle Beach this year, there was a situation that you were all locked out of the house.
Correct.
And Dad got the ladder out and was going to climb through one of the windows.
Yeah.
And visual guy here, like Winnie the Pooh, got stuck in one of the windows because he couldn't get through. And he had to lean on his youngest baby girl to get through and save the day. So walk me through that situation from your point of view. What was it like seeing your dad not be able to fit through the window and being able to save the day and get everybody back in the house?
So we get home from Myrtle Beach, and it's been a long drive. Like, I just want to go home, like lay on the couch, watch Netflix, do something. And we're like at the garage door and it's locked. And we go to the front door and it's locked. And my mom's like, I don't have a house key. And in my head, I'm like, who in the heck doesn't have a house key, first of all? But every single entrance to the house is locked. We tried everything. And apparently our bathroom window is always open. So if anyone wanted to know that. So my dad gets out a ladder, and it is the most rickety ladder I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm afraid he climbs up on it, and I'm afraid it's just going to collapse and he's going to fall on the cement below. So I'm in like tears. I'm like, please don't go up there. Please don't. And so he did it anyways. He ripped the frame out of the window, ripped the screen out of the window, and he's like balancing on his waist, trying to get through the window, but he can't fit. So he back down, and it's just me and my mom. And I'm afraid of heights, but my mom is really afraid of heights. So I knew that like I was the only one that could do it. So I climbed up onto the ladder, and I'm kind of balancing in the window frame like he was, but I couldn't like get the momentum to push myself through the window the way I was like balanced. So I couldn't like get all my body to go through, like the momentum to do that. So he had to climb back up the ladder and push my feet through. And then I got through the window and let everyone in.
Such a hero story there, but I would have given, I can't imagine how much money just to see your dad with his feet dangling out the window trying to get in, stuck like Winnie the Pooh. I wish you would have taken a picture of that. That would be priceless. I mean, as important as your family is to you naturally, you've developed quite a relationship with this group, but this group of seniors especially. And lately, there's been it's been a challenge, right? Because one of your own, Jamie Farron, I don't know if everybody's heard, but our thoughts and prayers with Jamie as she incurred a devastating injury that probably put her career on the shelf, certainly for her senior season, but possibly even for longer than that, and maybe forever for her career in softball. Talk about what it's like in a situation like that to lose someone. Let's just be frank, that you love, that you've gone through the ranks with. What was it like for you and the other seniors on the team to go through that and to continue to fight for Jamie this season?
Right. Jamie has been my teammate not only in all of my years of high school, but we've played travel ball for years before we were in high school. And she's honestly one of the big reasons I came to South Range, because I knew her and I knew like, hey, I have a friend if I come to South Range. So seeing her go down like that was definitely emotional for all of us, because she's a great second baseman and we hate to lose her, but also she's a great person, and you hate to see someone so great get something like that they truly don't deserve. The seniors, we were all very emotional. It kind of put a damper on our whole game after that happened. And then we had to come catch the bus the next morning to go to Stowe. And it was just, you could tell the atmosphere was just, very down. We're like sitting in the back of the bus, some of us in tears, because it just doesn't feel right. So, we kind of said to the younger girls, if losing a senior this way doesn't light a fire under you, then we don't know what will. And hopefully that we can just play the rest of the season and be successful for Jamie, because we know that she wants to be out here with us, but we hope we can just bring back as much success as possible.
It's incredible. I mean, and I think anybody that hears this and watches this needs to understand, when you go to war, really, it is. From the time you're young, and for your case, when you meet them out of school and they make influencing and influential decisions on your life and your career potentially. So it's tough to go through. Do you feel that it will light a fire under this team to play kind of beyond their means, over their skis a little bit? And what would it mean for you, again, to bring a championship home now, as opposed to maybe in your sophomore year? And I hope that Jamie's the first one. If you indeed do it, and we hope you do, I hope Jamie's the first one that gets to touch the trophy.
Yeah. I think that if the satisfaction of winning isn't enough, now we have like an extra incentive to play for, to kind of just bring that home for Jamie. And we just really want to go out with a bang for our senior season, even more so now that, we have a senior who we really have reason to be playing for.
Kel, you've been known as the Polish Cannon because all the things that you do behind the dish. You got that moniker last year. What's ultimately do you want people to remember you for, beyond your nickname and the things that you do necessarily on the field when you cross that platform here in a few weeks at South Range and become an alum, as opposed to somebody who just goes to school at South Range?
Right. I hope that I can just be remembered as a good teammate, someone that my teammates enjoyed being around and I could make them laugh every now and again. And it's also been important to me during my time at South Range. I've been giving some catching lessons to younger girls who will eventually make their way up through the varsity ranks. So I hope that, I could just impart some of my knowledge and wisdom on them so that someday they could be the catcher for South Range and they could just remember what I taught them and remember the impact I've had on them.
All right, last question, I promise, because I know you got to get to practice. But you've got some great people in your corner naturally, but you got some unbelievable people in the dugout. When you talk about your coaches, the staff with Spanky DeRose being the lead dog in there, what has these coaches meant to you along the way, and what do you want to tell them that maybe you haven't been able to tell them to this point about their influence that they've had on you?
Yeah, Coach DeRose, Coach Farron, and Coach Starkey have been just great to have in the dugout. There is nothing that any one of them wouldn't do for any of the players. And, I'm going to graduate in a couple of weeks and I'm going to miss them a lot. And I'm going to have to go play for a new coach in college, which I'm sure I'll enjoy. But I'm really going to miss them in the personal aspect that they would bring, because not only do we play for them, but they care about us as people. And I really think it's a true testament to our coaches and to our program that us seniors who have to move on are going to miss it so much.
Kelly Zolik, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you spending some time with us today, and certainly the memories that you've been able to present throughout the years. I will never forget you, and you're always welcome here, IUP or otherwise, and then I'll certainly be hitting you up in a few years whenever you got that law degree as well. We're proud of you. We appreciate you more than you know. Keep hitting. You're hitting 395. You got 25 hits throughout the season, and what you do behind the dish is a special. You're a special young lady, and you should be treated as such. Congratulations on all the things that you've done and all that you're about to do.
Thank you so much.
There she goes, Kelly Zolik, one of my favorites forever. Man, if I could just go back and see that video or see a picture of the Paw King, Dan Zolik, in that window. Man, I was talking to Sam Torres of 440 Sports about NFTs. He was enlighten me on some NFTs and how that stuff goes. That would be an NFT I would buy and keep forever. Forever. The Paw King, like Winnie the Pooh in that window, forever. Let's catch up on some quick. Do we have comments? Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, yes. Sam says National Lampoon's feel absolutely. And some thoughts and prayers pouring in for Jamie Farron. From Boardman, from Fred Moots. Thank you, Moots. Appreciate that. And Sam as well with the prayers up for Jamie. I heard about that this weekend. And I have a great relationship with the Farrons in general. I mean, to the point where, it's Uncle Donnie to the kids. And I heard that and it immediately my heart sunk, my stomach hurt. I mean, one of those, and I think is they're all like that, right? You build these relationships with these players, these young people, when coaches have to go through things, it's tough. And what's even more troublesome is when, not that we need pity here, but when you build these relationships with 70 plus schools and all these organizations and youth, and you see it, like, life happens to people and it's tough, because you want the best for all of these people. And I truly, like, our new theme song is everyone's a winner, right? And I truly believe that if you want to be a winner, you can be, and the better people in life want you to win, right? And there aren't people out there very often that I want to see lose, right? I think we all want to win ourselves, but that's to be a competitor. And, you think about what Jamie Farron, who is a incredible young lady, and she's such a great spirit. She is such a kind soul. But when she crosses over into, beast mode, when she steps in that box, and the way that she plays softball and the way that she competes in the sports that she's competing in, that's a big loss. And I know that for her, she will be wonderful and she will be great at everything she does, as will Kelly, as will the majority of the young ladies in our valley, because they are strong. They are all very strong. But specifically when you're talking about Jamie, I'm sure the first thoughts that she had weren't even about her. I'm sure they were about her teammates, and vice versa for her teammates. They're constantly thinking about her right now and everything they do. So if you have a minute, say some thoughts and prayers for Jamie Farron for a complete recovery. And certainly we hope that she heals up, but most importantly that, she's able to continue to lead the way that she does for the South Range Raiders. And as she moves on into the next stage of her life, and hopefully if the opportunity presents itself to play a sport and compete in a sport in the next level, she's able to do it, because she's that good. She's that good. And special thanks to Kelly Zolik, as always, for taking time out for us, as she does after the games, and certainly when she does it with YSN. We're going to take a break. When we come back, another catcher joins the show, Michael Patelis of Canfield. Had a chance to sit down with him a little earlier today in a taped conversation. And, when you look at this young man, he's been around some extreme talent, some D1 talent constantly, perfect games, no hitters, one hitters. And now he's on the other side of that as well. They saw something in him that he could potentially be a guy that's not just a catcher, but is on the other end of that battery as a pitcher as well. We're going to talk to him when we come back on the YSN Power Hour, proudly presented by our friends at Toyota of Warren.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we offer a worry-free experience for all our customers. From sales to financing and even service, we'll help build your perfect vehicle
and lock in your trade value
while your vehicle is being built.
No worries.
We guarantee financing,
regardless of your situation or credit history.
No worries. And when your vehicle needs service,
our award-winning team will get you back on the road.
No worries.
That's what going the extra mile means. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com or find us on Facebook.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa.
And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing.
Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships.
We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team.
Your goals, our game plan.
Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Welcome back, everybody. DJ Oakley with you on this YSN Power Hour presented by our friends at Toyota of Warren. It has been a catcher's week here on the Power Hour. You know my love and affinity for the backstops, the tools of ignorance, so to speak. And this one, no different, one of the best by far. And I think when you put elite catchers into a group, this young man has been elite for a long time. And he's been kind of in the darkness, in the shadows, as the catchers usually are. at this time, I bring in my good friend and a kid and a young man I look up to so much in Michael Patelis of the Canfield Cardinals. Mikey, it is always good to see you, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on today, DJ.
Always, man. So, I mean, you have grown up before our very eyes. I feel like you have just constantly shined, and every single opportunity to do so, you've done it over the years, and you've led some great pitchers to some great success. But now you're finally able to have that kind of success of your own. You've been doing it behind the dish, obviously, and everybody knows you for that. But you've been able to get on the bump a little bit and show off some good, I don't know, speed, velocity, command, all that stuff. Has it been a challenge for you to trade in the catcher's mask and go on the other side of things from the battery and pitch?
Yeah, it has been a little bit, but that's something that I've always had in my back pocket is pitching because I always threw hard and I've always wanted to do everything at a young age. So everything I try to do, pitch, catch, even play the outfield a little bit when I was younger, I've just been taught to do everything. And trading in the catcher's mask for the first time was a little difficult, but I wanted to try something a little different at the high school level and shove a little bit.
Why did what first got you into catching? Was it by necessity? Was it because you thought it was cool, to wear the gear, all that stuff? What got you into being a catcher at this level?
It was actually one of my travel coaches when I was around 13, 14 that really got me into it. Is actually the West Branch head coach, Rick Mullenix. He was my travel coach for 3 or 4 years, and he taught me everything I knew from 13 to probably 15, 16. And playing under him, he taught me a lot, and I just really fell in love with it at that point.
I mean, that's a pretty big name in the baseball world. So you've played and been coached by some pretty big names along the way. Obviously, Gary Nittle. But you look, I got a text from Nate Shaw today. How excited he was for you to sit down on YSN and finally get some of the comeuppance that you deserve. Talk about, I mean, the Canfield has been a loaded program, and you don't stop there. You go in the summers, you've played travel ball with a lot of kids from a lot of different programs. How is being just part of that, not being necessarily the lead dog or the lead bird in some cases, but how is being part of that and being around that talent made you better on the field and off the field?
It just showed me how hard those guys work because they've gotten theirs. They're committed. They're playing college baseball, and that's exactly where I want to go, is follow in their footsteps. And one thing that they did teach me was leadership, and Nate did a great job with that for the past 2 years. Him, Landon, Petro, all of them, that they really showed how to be a true leader in a program, both on and off the field. And that's exactly what I want to do, is for the next 2 years is continue that and just teach the younger kids how to be good people, good leaders, and great baseball players.
What did those guys, I mean, obviously you alluded to some of the things, but I mean, you guys were so, how do I put this? You were on a shelf last year by yourself. Everybody was looking at Canfield and saying, if they don't do it, nobody will. And then obviously the Niles game happens and kind of took the world by storm a little bit. Niles obviously very excited about it, but there were a lot of people that, I'm sure we're saying, I told you so. They were who we said we were, or, they weren't who we said they were, and things of that nature. How does a situation like that, I guess I'm asking, how does that help your character along the way when your expectations are championship or bust and it's a second round exit? How does that build your character up for not only your junior year, but heading into your senior year?
Yeah, that wasn't the greatest feeling. And everybody who plays baseball knows that being an underdog is always better. Knowing that if you go out and beat a team that you're not supposed to, then that's one of the best feelings. And being on the flip side of that, that really did hurt. And it taught all of us who came back, and plus the seniors as well, they know that failure and struggle is a part of this game. And being able to come off that stronger and better people, that just brought us closer together as a group last year to have that one final moment together, knowing that we put everything we did on the table and have a great year, just to have it end like that, that happens sometimes. And that really promoted us this year to do even better and get past that slump and not happen to have that final conversation at the end of the year and say, hey, I guess it was an okay year, but we tried our best, but we're looking to go a little bit farther than we did last year. And even though we don't have the recognition or the attention right now that we did last year, we're still looking to put our name out there and be like, hey, we're still Canfield. We know how to play baseball, and we're here to come beat you and put everything else on the table.
I feel like that's an attitude. You have to have that attitude when you're in Canfield. When do you kind of get that embedded into your DNA? Is that a young age when you're playing little league, or when you cross the threshold into high school? Is that the mentality that you have to have when you're a Canfield Cardinal? Because it really is Canfield versus the world in most cases.
Yeah, at a very young age, like even Little League, playing the Boardman, Poland, Austintown, it was always we want to beat them so bad. And that didn't really happen for us when we were 12, going 0-2 in the district, and having those same cities and those same kids come into high school and play against one another. That's still a driving edge for us, especially to beat them even more, because we didn't have it when we were little as much, and now it's on a bigger stage. We want to put ourselves out there and give it to them.
It's funny you talk about big stages. Is there a stage big enough for you, or I guess too big for you in some cases? Are you someone that is able to kind of look around and understand where you're at in that moment? Or is it just as long as the base paths are 90 feet away, you're in your comfort zone?
Yeah, I've never been too afraid of any bigger stage. Like, I've played in college parks before, and even big high school fields. Like, it's still 90 feet, 66 inches for the mound to the plate. And it's just a bat in your hand, a ball coming at you from a pitcher. And all you got to do is play and relax and have fun. And I've been lucky to have all the luck I have with everything else around me and all the people around me to help me through everything. And it just comes natural to have fun and play the game.
Let's talk about some of these coaches that you've had over your tenure, man. The Canfield dugout is loaded with talent, obviously, on the roster, but the coaching staff is incredible as well. And it feels like it's a one-to-one teaching experience sometimes with as many coaches as you have in there. Talk about that leadership that's in that dugout, and it's seeming like everywhere you look, you have a wealth of knowledge, information, experience, all that stuff that goes into it, that you can make some great calls. And as a catcher, I know because I was there with you, that's got to be nice for you to be able to lean on sometimes when times are tough and you're seeing it all happen. And sometimes, let's be honest, you feel helpless because you're just the guy behind the dish, right?
Yeah, Coach Weimer's really helped me through pitch progressions and teaching me what to call and what count and against what hitter and what team and whatnot. So having him helping me with catching and also teaching me about how to be a pitcher as well, that's been something that I've been so fortunate to have. Like, with all the coaches here, especially, he's been the guy that I've gone to when I have certain questions about anything. And ever since he came in last year, I've really absorbed everything I could from him, knowing that I've only had 2 years with him. And with everybody else, I was hoping to be lucky and have 4 with everyone else. Coach has another one that's helped me out on the hitting side, that last year I didn't do great and didn't have the size to go extra bases and everything. And him and I have really put in the work this offseason into fixing little things in my swing that he noticed last year, and just putting it all together this year to try to help this team even more and progress and get to where we want to be. Coach Nittle's done a little bit of everything, and he's been there on the pitching side, hitting, and even helped me catch a little bit the other day. I thought it was really cool when he got back there and put on a glove to catch a little bullpen. And I was like, there's no way this is happening right now.
Wow. Nitz was catching bullpens?
It was maybe 5 or 6 pitches, but I was still having a great time with it and laughing along with him.
Oh, all right. So let's let everybody behind the curtain a little bit as a catcher, right? Because those winter months that you're in the gym or you're in the facility and it's inside every day and all you are good for, the only thing you are good for is catching bullpens. Can you put into words how miserable bullpens are this time of year when you're catching them on a rain day or whatever it is? People don't understand. They think, oh, well, that's your job is to catch. Listen, your job is to catch, but there's so much more that you have to do. You got to control base runners, control pitchers, understand the coaches, understand situations. To just sit there and just be a catcher and basically a garbage can, right? That's what I felt like. How do you feel about catching bullpens?
Yeah, sometimes that is how it feels, especially when I don't get the swings I want every day in practice, because we're in here usually hitting every single day when we don't have games. And catching bullpens, it's usually not too much or too bad at all. It's just learning how each pitcher throws each pitch and see how much trust you can build up with them, especially me being an everyday guy. And Dylan Mancini stepped up when I've pitched, and he's done a great job up to this point as well. Him and I have both put the work in behind the plate this year, and it's awesome to see him doing well. And just every day catching some pens, just working on little things each and every day to overall get better is something that I really focus on, especially when there's no other distractions around, like runners and weather and everything like that. Just being in here and focusing on one guy, one pitch at a time. That's something that I'm fortunate to have is this facility here today.
I'm always just enamored by how you take a negative and always turn it into a positive. I'm trying to throw you off your game, but you're not having it. That's just the kind of guy you are, Mikey. Is you're always thinking positive. You're always thinking the next level. Eternal optimist here, but I'm trying to shake you, and you're not doing it. And I again, I have so much respect for you for that. You talked about last year some of the struggles you had at the plate. You find yourself a lot of times in the middle of the heart of this lineup on a daily basis. As a catcher who, as you alluded to, you're not always getting the swings that you need necessarily to maybe get out of a slump or, help create that work-life balance, so to speak, in a lineup. How do you go about making sure that you get what you need outside of practice time and things of that nature to make sure that you're still at the top of your game?
Yeah, that came in this winter with lifting every day. I got AJ Slank and I all went to a trainer, Darius Binion, over at Fine Tune Fitness, and he really helped me get my body right for this upcoming season and the long summer ahead. That he really helped me get my body where it should be, being a catcher, squatting every day, having strong legs, and having the outcome to do it every single day and not get fatigued and get tired. And in the cage, I just try to take quantity or quality over quantity swings, not try to do too much and try to focus on ball on barrel and just let the results happen.
So what's interesting to me is I always thought it was interesting when I had a coach, varsity level, right? You'd never get the swings. You'd always get skipped in the cage. But when it came time for cardio or for those sprints or whatever you had to do, they always seemingly knew that the catchers had to be included in that. From your standpoint, I know you just talked about getting things back together in the weight room. Do you ever get skipped? Do you ever does Nitz ever say, hey, you're going to have an off day with your cardio because you've been working hard behind the dish and 600, 700 squats later after in those bullpens? Does he ever give you a pass?
Not really. I'm usually like the guy who wants to do everything. And this off season, we actually had a bunch of conditioning days that we made into competitions and everything. And even that was just extremely fun. That brought us closer together and brought everybody to be one team. And that's one thing that we've really tried to be a part of is family, just like Shaw tried to do last year and the year before, is be one family. And I think the conditioning really did help everybody because we were all in one struggle point and just knowing and being with each other, knowing that we had each other's backs. And that's one thing that's awesome to have.
That's leadership right there, my friend. That is leadership. All right. When I see you wearing the Canfield baseball cutoff hoodie, I love it. Tell me about the pride that you take every time that you put the Canfield jersey on, every time that you put the tools of ignorance on from the standpoint of being the catcher for the Canfield Cardinals or the pitcher for the Canfield Cardinals. How much pride goes in it for you?
It's a lot. It's definitely like playing at home is one of the best feelings. Having the Cardinals and Canfield across your chest, it's just a feeling that can't get beat. Being in a city with great people, great coaches, and a great school district, one of the top in Ohio, I feel like it's just one of the best feelings knowing you have that across your chest and you're there to play for other people and to show everybody what you can do and how much work you've put in that we've all done, and knowing that they're there to support you is awesome.
Now, I know that you play for the name on the front of the uniform. You play for Canfield, but I know the name on the back of the uniform is pretty special to you as well. Talk to me about your family and how much they mean to you.
Oh, my family means everything. My mom and dad have helped me since I was 2 years old, putting a glove on. Everything that they've done for me, I don't think I can ever repay them for it. And that's one thing I want to do for them is when I get older, just have them both retire and pay off everything I can, no matter what I do when I grow up. My brother is another person that means a lot to me, even though him and I both fight a lot every day, but we both love each other and we help each other as much as possible. Him being a baseball player too, I try to help him on some little things that I see that I've done and I've fixed with my swings and plate appearances and everything. And I just try to help him through it too, not getting too harsh on him because I know he's still young, and just helping him get to the high school level next year. I can't wait to play with him on the big field.
So when you think about the moment, right, that everybody wants it, whether it's, getting the call that, hey, we want you to play for us at the next level, or hey, we would love for you to play big league ball, right? Or we want to draft you to our team. That's the dream, right? At this level, what drives you? What is it? Your family? Is it all the work that you've put in? Is it a combination of a lot of things? What drives you? What's your why to why you're doing this and why you put yourself through this every single day behind the dish?
I just love it. Having the dream ever since I was just a little kid playing on Little League fields. I just fell in love with it ever since I stepped on the field, and nothing's really changed since. My parents push me as much as they can, and my dad being my coach at a really young age, me and him have gotten really close over these years to just see how much he's helped me through everything, and having the drive, even though like when I don't want to be there that day, or just a practice or maybe an extra conditioning on a Saturday when we don't have games. He's always like, hey, just go enjoy it, have fun, and don't get hurt.
Most important part, don't get hurt. Don't hurt my baby boy. All right. So last question for you. Typically we talked about your family, role models, things of that nature, but I want to know from your standpoint, because you're without a doubt in the heart of the recruitment process, being contacted as a junior, stuff like that. If somebody wants Michael Patelis on their roster at the next level, what are you going to be able to tell them with certainty, with confidence that they're going to get?
I will be the hardest worker in any room you put me in. I'm in the facility every single day, no matter what day it is, how I'm feeling. In the weight room, I put the work in there too. And they're just going to get a dog who loves to work and loves to play the game and will do the things that he can to get on the field whenever he wants to and needs to. And he'll do whatever the team needs him to do that day.
You're the dog, man. You always have been. You always will be. And you always got a spot here on YSN to promote your team and yourself and your family, man. We appreciate you so much. I am a huge fan of what you do behind the dish and what you do off the field as well. Michael Patelis, the Canfield Cardinal catcher and pitcher. Don't forget about that. You catch him at a local ball field near you. Mikey, thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you, DJ.
usually is better when your microphone's on. It is the Joe Dickey Electric. What is your spark? Presented by Joe Dickey Electric. Anything commercial, residential, industrial, anything electrical or makes you go zap. Make sure you head on over to dickeyelectric.com. Tell them YSN sent you. All right. So one of the things that we need to chat about real quick is this sectional part of the tournament. Right. I've never, ever been a fan of sectional matchups, especially when it is all the teams invited to the dance, invited to the party, as my good buddy Andy would say. It's the OHSAA's party, right? And everybody's invited in baseball, and everybody's invited in basketball, and there's a lot of sports. Football being, I think, one of the only remaining sports that you have to have a certain winning percentage or point system to qualify for the playoffs. What I can tell you is the sectional, especially in the spring, is so frustrating, so incredibly frustrating for people like us at YSN, because 9/10 of them are going to be mercy rules, and we still get a bill. Here you go. For these games that we broadcast, $100 a pop. So let's say we wanted to broadcast 14 games, 15, let's make it easy number, 15 games this week. Those games would cost us $1,500. So what we do typically for a fan of YSN, and you've been around for a while, is what we do is we charge you $9.99 for a night, and you get to watch all the games you want that we have covered. Now, here's where it gets interesting, is because in most years, the baseball is pretty much taken care of for that week, and they're getting ready and resting up for their sectionals. Well, this year has been so bad that this week we have softball teams still trying to complete and compete for their league championships. We have baseball teams that are still trying to get rain makeups in and compete and complete their schedules. So we just looked at it and we said, what are we doing here? We can still cover great baseball and great softball at the regular season level and not have to worry about paying the fee, because we just won't cover sectionals. And I think that's the right decision. And we're standing by that decision based on, we're going to pick up our broadcast in the district level because we feel that is very important, and we will ride with our teams all the way into the state championships. But the sectional, like we're still getting grief, and I'm not mad about it, and I'm not putting them on blast here. But you have to understand that last year we lost money covering sectional championships because one or two people tune in because they're not willing to pay $9.99 to watch a baseball or softball game from a one camera view. I'm sorry. Like, this is a business. It's a business decision. I've got to make tough decisions. You don't have to feel bad for me. It's just a decision we had to make. So we will not be covering the sectionals this year from a standpoint of the broadcast streams. However, we will be picking things up, and we will be covering regular season all the way through, and we will pick things up in the districts, which literally is next week. So if you can get through softball this week in the sectionals, we'll still have the stories. Anthony, myself, Mike Wolfgang, and a few others still committed to delivering those stories so you're informed. And we will still put up the billboards. Brendan Miller will still be able to do that, and Quinn Pushkar will still have the scores, all that stuff. But we just won't have the broadcast for sectionals because we're trying to save you money as well. Because, as you know, in a business, any overhead gets passed along to the consumer, and we don't want to do that to you. We think there's enough things that you're spending your hard-earned money on right now, and you can still go out to those games, and we'll cover other ones for you. And then we get to districts, then we party. That is going to do it for our show, really. I mean, not to put that on blast. Just a reminder and an official YSN breaking news here. We are going to have Mahoning Valley Scrappers, voice of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, NYSN tryouts on the, the 24th, I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's the 24th. It's that Wednesday, the 24th, I believe it is. and we'll have it in the evening from 5 to 7, and that'll be at Eastwood Field in Niles, Ohio. So if you think you got the chops, if you want to be the voice of the Scrappers, make sure that you are there from 5 to 7, or at least at some point. And then if you get the gig, you're talking Scrappers January. Where am I right now? June 1st at Eastwood Field, where the season starts. So season 25 for the Scrappers about to commence. So you can be the voice of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers, and I hope to see you on May 24th from 5 to 7 at Eastwood Field for your chance to be the next voice of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers. That's going to do it for our show today. Appreciate Kelly Zolik stopping by, taking time out of her busy day. Michael Patelis is crazy busy, so thanks to him as well for talking. Thanks to you. Thanks to our sponsors and everybody supporting YSN around the clock and 24/7, 365. We appreciate you so much. For more information, head on over to ysnlive.com. I'm out to the YSU Bowling Green State University baseball game tonight at Eastwood Field. Come out and see me. Come out and see the boys. YSU, Alec Caberna going to have the call on the network. We'll see you later right here on the YSN Power Hour, powered by Toyota of Warren. YSN thanks you for watching this